I don't think anyone can deny that we have a problem here.
We're in an ethical mess. I started working in the prisons 35 years ago. There were 229,000 people in prison. Today, there's 2.3 million.
The financial crisis has rocked the world and shaken markets worldwide.
Lenders were encouraged by the government to lend to less creditworthy buyers.
Almost everyone in a position of financial authority embraced it.
At the same time, they sold them short and hammered them like mad, raked in money. At every level, they were deceiving the people they were dealing with.
Well, Wall Street not only saw no evil, but saw a great deal of virtue, which could be quantified in billions of dollars. That was the virtue of it.
Why are we surprised when there's a lack of ethics in the lenders, Wall Street, government? It's an inescapable consequence of neglecting moral training.
One of the things we need to do is resensitize ourselves to evil and resensitize ourselves to good.
That was a time when I should have stopped and said, wait a minute, Mr. President, think about the consequences of this. But I did not. Self-righteousness is believing you're so good that you couldn't be compromised. And that's the kind of pride that's fatal.
Business schools need to start thinking about right and wrong and ethics. But that's a very difficult challenge if the professors don't know how to teach it or think that way.
Students simply were not aware of questions of moral philosophy.
They say, well, ethics is following your own integrity or following your conscience. But what if you have a poorly formed conscience? What if you're a jerk?
The problem is, in Harvard Business School, there's no fundamental agreement on the way the world works. And so you're reduced to discussing practical behavior.
So truth has got to be knowable for there to be ethics.
It would be hard to live a life as a consistent moral relativist, not making any kinds of moral claims.
If you're a purely accepted moral relativist position, then you have no ground on which to stand to say why another person is wrong.
The sure consequence of the attempt to liberate oneself from demanding moral norms and obligations is slavery.
It's resulting in more harm to the society in general than anything else in my lifetime. It is unutterably destructive. How's that working for you?
Eugenics is very much alive and well.
It's back. And we now face the question, are we going to buy it or not buy it?
A proper understanding of who the human person is. If we lose that, and we are losing that, it becomes very, very dangerous.
Quadriplegics like me have never fared well in societies that view life as dispensable.
People are created equal, endowed by their created with certain inalienable rights. This is the fundamental ethic on which the Western civilization was built. You don't give human rights to people, and you can't take them away. Human rights are God-given.
Central power, like all power, has to be checked. It has to be limited.
Government must be under the moral law. And if the government violates those rights, it should be changed.
My uncle did write and did say, if a law is unjust, it is our moral responsibility to resist the unjust law. And that is the basis of the civil rights movement.
In the case of Tyco and innumerable other recent cases, it all went terribly wrong.
Things were pretty badly broken inside the company.
When you lose a sense of trust, market economies fail.
The dream is, if I can just achieve this much more, I'll fill that emptiness.
The thing with money is it doesn't make you happy. Doing the right things, that's what makes you happy.
We made a decision that we thought was going to cost us money. I don't think it's cost us a dime by being a good corporate responsible citizen.
But the market also both requires and nurtures the virtue of service, hard work and discipline and diligence.
It's got to begin in homes, in churches, in schools. At every level, we have to be working together to rebuild a consensus around a sound and coherent ethic.
The family, religion, culture, this is what has to be transformed.
Our recognition of duty to do what's right, even in the face of powerful temptations and incentives to do what's wrong.
And that is the great goal of life.
Am I doing what's right for other people who, like me, are made in the image and likeness of God?